Hello.
Hello, is that Gregory?
No, this is Gregory's secretary. Yes, it's Gregory.
Oh, don't do that to me, my heart.
How you doing, man?
Hi, yeah, really, really nice to speak to you. Welcome to Sound Fusion Radio. My name's DJ Dug Chant, and I'd like to say a big, big thank you to coming and appearing on my show.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, I wanted to start off with you. Now, you came to my attention back in 2010 with 1960 Watts. And when I first heard that track, it made me think I've missed a track from the 1970s. I really thought it was an old track.
Yeah.
And when I found out that it was a brand new track, I was absolutely gobsmacked.
Yeah, people had that response with the feel of the music and the energy of the music. It partly was that intention, and partly was I was trying to go back to that feeling and that energy that was in the air at the time. So, yeah. I mean, that's what you do with music. You transport yourself into the past and into the future. So, yeah.
I think with me, why I probably thought it was an old tune, it was the actual social comment of it. The fact that you are talking about, obviously, the race riots in Detroit, the fact that the city was burning, and and it sort of really hit me how powerful those words were and how relevant. And I think a lot of music these days doesn't seem to have the social comment, and you put that social comment back into the music.
Yeah, I think that's people often sometimes question whether I am a jazz artist, and jazz is not just for lines and dots. It's also the subject matter and the feeling and the energy, and so protest music is in jazz and in soul and in blues and many musics. But I mean, it should be there because music should mirror our human experiences, and definitely protest and pain, as well as joy and triumph. But protest and pain is part of it as well.
I see your new LP, Liquid Spirit, the reviews we're getting here already for the album has been absolutely amazing. All the radio stations here are playing it, and I'm getting lots of comments on my show about it, and that people can't wait to actually go and purchase it. I was lucky to see you the recent Love Supreme Festival, which is literally about 10 minutes up the road from where I live.
Okay.
And your live performance that day was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it was a good energy in the audience. I don't know, and maybe they do know the importance of the audience in terms of no pun intended, releasing energy from the artist, because when there's a receptive, energetic, soulful audience, who knows what can happen? Who knows what levels the artist can be taken to? The whole room. When I say room, even in an outdoor environment. Even in an outdoor environment, I do mean a room. So, yes, it's the audience is important as well.
The thing I'd say with your music is the fact that you were just saying about the jazz audience and everything, but your type of background with your voice, the soulfulness of your voice, also mixed with the blues, the gospel. You've got a lot of influences within your music.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, you categorize me wherever, it doesn't really matter to me. None of that really matters. I'm just really trying to make music and something that strikes to the heart for me. And if that be soul, blues, jazz, or gospel, then so be it. But that that's where I am with the music now. It's just like, just do it and let the other people call it what it is.
Yeah, but shouldn't the music cross over anyway? That's what I love about, you know.
Yeah,
if you want to say jazz music, it takes influences from everywhere, and that's what we should be listening to.
Exactly, and I don't know why people are just so sometimes struck like to separate something away from, like, if I have like Liquid Spirit, it's clearly coming from, you know, a gospel influence, and then you know, why is it strange for me to mix that with a traditional you know, jazz standard, and then to mix that with a you know, small group funk song? You know, it's just music, man. Just enjoy it.
You're saying about something like jazz standards. I see again on Liquid Spirit, you've recorded a couple of tracks. I see one of them's Ramsey Lewis's In Crowd, and also Abby Lincoln's Lonesome Lover.
Yeah. Well, Abby, I hope in the course of my career I'll be able to record, you know, more of her music, because she's been an inspiration in terms of writing style, freedom in a way. She has some records where she sings. It sounds like she's sitting on the edge of her bed. You know, I'm just sitting on the edge of my bed after a hard day and just letting out these words. And that to me is like the ultimate, you know, organic expression. And so I picked that tune "Lonesome Lover" because it was you know, it's a beautiful song that her and Max Roach did, and I did it in tribute to her, and I had heard a male voice do that before, and so I decided to do it. And she influenced some of the writing on this record. I didn't know her personally, but just her style and her delivery and her ability to speak her opinion in a song. The tune "When Love Was King" is almost directly inspired by her. Not in the not musically, but just in the way that I basically state my political position. Not in a preachy way, with a melody, cased in a story, but I do believe that people, hungry children, should be fed, and that the underneath people should be lifted up. You know, so that's the gist of the song. It's just like what I believe. This is what I believe, and Abby Lincoln did that in her music, and so yeah, I'm stealing that inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, because through your music, I would say it's so nice to hear songs, a song with a beginning, middle, and an end, and that's what I hear in your music. Is the lyrical content is just absolutely amazing, and your songwriting is just absolutely fantastic. Who were your influences as you grew up?
You know, it's so varied, man. When you say songwriting or just in music, period. I mean, I'll give it to you, like, you know, from Nat King Cole to, which was odd at that time because I was, you know, 7, 8 years old listening to Nat King Cole in the 70s. You know, that music was already old then, and so you know, none of my friends were listening to that music. I know that much. And so I was listening to Nat King Cole, Stevie Wonder for sure, who was hot, and Donny Hathaway. I was becoming aware of, you know, and there was so much of those male group singers that was out at the time. You know, soul singers, of course, you know, Spinners and you know, later incarnation of the Temptations, and, you know, so, yeah, I was listening to all that music as well as experiencing the gospel experience. You know, so it was you know, that was the very, very early period of my listening. But later on, I got into, you know, Louis Armstrong and Leon Thomas and you know, and Andy Bay, and you know, really, really digging deep into, you know, King Pleasure, and you know, Sam Cooke, very, 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 very artists, from soul to jazz to gospel, and you know, even some folk music. So yeah.
Yeah, I gather at the age of 5 that you recorded a Nat King Cole song, and I was going to say to you, because on the latest George Benson album, he's got a recording of him singing a Nat King Cole song when he was 8. Now, do you still have that recording? And have you got any plans on putting that onto an album at some stage?
You know, when I heard that little snippet I think it's at the beginning of George Benson's record, I got chills, because it was amazing to me how, and I've heard interviews with George Benson talking about Nat King Cole's influence on his music. Now, George Benson is 70, you know, he's up there in age. And it's interesting that he had the same musical experience that I had with Nat King Cole, you know. And so, as a young artist, so that's really, really something to me. That even though we are, you know, two very different generations of musicians and singers, that we both were influenced by Nat King Cole in this profound way. Yeah. Yeah,
one common link.
Yeah.
Because when I first heard your voice, I couldn't quite put my top of finger on it, and I thought it's top of Lou Rawls, come Bill Withers, but with a social comment of Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, so I didn't mention Curtis Mayfield as well. I mean, he was like almost like the backdrop of music that was going on in my childhood in the 70s and early 80s. So, yeah, yeah, no, man, I'll take that. All those things that you mentioned, those are, you know, incredible names. And if I'm just, you know, scratching the surface of some of the things that they've done, then I feel like I'm doing okay. Bill Withers, yes, as well as Curtis Mayfield, the sound and the energy of his music, the soulful, laid-back statements that he made, constantly influence my writing. You know, interestingly enough, it's all these singers and musicians we're talking about have all had some church experience in their childhoods, and that's, in a way, that's the family that I'm coming from. In a way, I think that's the connection that's being made.
Yeah, probably I would say probably the majority of the top vocalists have come out of the gospel scene in some way, haven't they? I would have said.
Yeah, yeah, and one way or another, that's probably where we got some start. Yeah.
So what would you call your tone, your voice? Because I would say is it in the baritone type of sound?
Yeah, I'm a you know, I go from tenor to baritone. I'm in the in between.
I gather you actually originally didn't really start off in the music industry. You originally started as in sport, and I gather you played American football.
Yeah, I did, but you know, it was one of those situations where music was always a part of my life and always was going to be a part of my life, and so whatever profession I would have chosen, music was, you know, I used to sing in the locker room when I played football, and you know, it's very difficult to say, oh yes, I would have gone, you know, to play professional, because that's, you know, it's a very difficult thing to do because the rewards are so high and so many people want that. But sports was a big part of my life, and actually injuring myself, my shoulder, gave me more time to pursue music on a more serious level. And so, in a way, injuring myself from sports and having the time to go to jazz clubs in the evenings and sit in on jam sessions, it probably helped and, you know, bring some, you know, quickness to my entry into the music industry.
So the football, was that at college level?
Yeah, I played at college level, and
I gather then you went on to theatre, and I gather you'd appeared with Eloise Laws.
Yeah. Eloise is a really good friend of mine. Her whole family, Ronnie Laws and Deborah Laws and Hubert Laws, all great musicians and have made some
very talented.
Yes, it's really extraordinary when I think about it. When I see them all together, it's just like, oh my God, Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, 'cause I saw Ronnie back in 1980 locally. When he had was it "Ought to Be a Law" was one of the tracks, and "Young Child." "Ought to Be a Law" just blew me away. I remember he had this young bass player with him, and he was, I don't know, he must have been about 18. And he absolutely amazing bass player.
Wow.
And then I saw him last year up at Ronnie Scott's with appearing with Tom Brown, and again, still absolutely amazing.
Yes, he's cool. Ronnie's very cool.
Yeah, so very, very, very talented family. Because I gathered that you appeared on a Hubert Laws track.
Yeah, I did. I had gone along to just meet Hubert at his studio in Los Angeles. I was living in San Diego at the time, and his producer Kamal Kenyatta, who's now my producer, was just taking me along to meet Hubert, and they were tracking the tune "Smile." And I started to sing on it a little bit, just to sing for Hubert. And Hubert was like, "Yeah, man, let's put you on the record," just like that, just that casually. And so that was my first actual professional recording experience, and I was thankful for that.
Yeah, because when I found out that you were on that particular track, I've been trying to get hold of that LP, and it's only available on import, and it's cost an absolute fortune to buy over here.
I'll bring you one the next time I come through, man.
That would be very much appreciated. But as I say, with your albums and everything, both of the albums, the first two albums, both Grammy Award nominated.
Yeah, that was an exciting surprise actually both times. And in a way, it kind of confirmed and solidified that the track that I'm on is a positive one, I guess I would say, because the first record was nominated for best jazz vocal album, and the second one was for best traditional R&B performance. And only to say that I'm in a way in an organic way, trying to blur the lines between the musics, not trying to sing in a soulful or R&B style to get away from jazz, not trying to sing in a jazz way to try to get away from a soul style, but just being me, just singing how I sing. And if I am in between those two places and can be appreciated in both genres, then so be it. I appreciate that. That's the way music should be. I mean, yes, there should be, completely straight ahead jazz, but when we do blur these lines, it's a positive thing. That's not a negative thing.
Yeah, because 1960 Watt broke you over in this country, in the UK. How did you feel about? Because obviously a lot of the DJs picked it up and started remixing it. How do you feel about the remixes that came out?
That's cool. I've actually, I think somebody sent me about 20 different remixes of 1960 Watt, and I thought it was cool. I mean, that's musical energy when you put something out and people they hear it and then they're like, okay, well let me stand next to it, musically in a way, and so that's what happened with 1960 Watt. It was a tune that kind of a lot of DJs wanted to say something to, you know what I mean? And it was cool. I liked it. I think one of the first ones was the Opalopo mix. I liked it probably the most because the message wasn't lost in the song. The story was still intact, and essentially he didn't do much to it. It just, accentuated the bass line and put some, some hi-hat in there. So the song was still there and recognizable. And, no, I'm cool with the remix thing. I don't get bent out of shape about that. Because, in the, when people are at home and doing their thing, they can do whatever they want. And so, and then they can get it out there. And with this new internet age, something that you do in your bedroom can reach the world. And so, and it put me into the ears of a lot of people who wouldn't get my music a lot of different ways. And so, a lot of people who aren't jazz heads, were able to listen to other parts of my record and come to some discovery. So it was a positive thing all the way around.
Yeah, because that particular mix you just mentioned, the Oompa Loompa mix, when I put that on the deck at any of the clubs I play at, and the reaction, the people just go mad, absolutely on the floor dancing, absolutely love it. Yeah,
somebody sent me a message the other day. She's like, sent me a video clip that 1960 Weather still got them, swinging pretty hard in the clubs. And actually, they play in is it Chicago? It might be in Chicago. They play the original mix. They don't do the club mix, and it was jumping pretty hard as well. So I appreciate that. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. But say 2012, Be Good came out. Now, painted on a canvas. What's the actual message to that actual record? Because it's got the actual words are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's about mutual respect. I mean, that's the meaning for me, and it's about looking at somebody and allowing them to be who they are, and allowing them to show the colors that they have, and allowing them to say, "This is my painting. This is me." Instead of looking at somebody and, okay, this is who you are, this is what you are. You came from this neighborhood, so that's what you are, and this is all you're ever going to be. That's my thought with that song. We are like children. We're painted on canvases, picking up shades as we go. This is when you look at somebody and you give a look of disapproval, and if you do that to a child over and over and over again, guess what? They're going to start doing disapproving things because that's the way you've looked at them. So you have to be careful how you look at people, what kind of paint you putting on people, because they carry that paint for the entirety of their lives. And at the end of your life, you're a complete painting. And in the middle of your life, you're halfway finished. So, that's what it is.
I'd say that song is absolutely fantastic. And I'd just say I love that. But my favourite track on that particular LP, and I think it is my favourite Gregory Porter track, is On My Way to Harlem. Now, you were actually born in Los Angeles. So where's the connection to Harlem for you?
Well, this is interesting. The connection to Harlem is the history, the artwork, the poetry, the political thought that came out of Harlem. In a way, even as a child, I felt like I had some ownership to Harlem, and that's true of not just Black Americans. That's true of all Americans, and it's true of really all the world. I mean, we benefit from the dance and culture that comes out of Harlem around the world. And so the song is in a way, about thinking about the preservation of that energy that creates the energy that Louis Armstrong, Duke Ellington, the jazz, the poetry, the energy that came out of Harlem. We're all invested in keeping that soil rich and fervent, and so it's this politics in the song on the edge of it in a cryptic way, but it's not in a way exclusive of any people. It's we all have a stake in the health of Harlem if we want it to continue to be a breadbasket of artistic energy. And so Yeah, I found out on my way to Harlem that Duke Ellington doesn't live there anymore. That statement is about if Starbucks and if all the major chain stores have eliminated all the mom and pop restaurants and coffee shops, and if people who want to live in Harlem push all the people who live in Harlem currently, if they push them out of Harlem because the rent is so high and the real estate is so high, then Harlem will not continue to be Harlem. It'll be something else, and it'll still be beautiful, but it won't have the you have to if you come to Harlem, come live, but go to the jazz clubs. Come live and support the local church. And that's in my way. That's the energy behind the song. And I want you to be able to bob your head, smile at the song, and love it and enjoy it as well. So, yeah. But that's what the song is about. Yeah, to just to help preserve the artistic energy of Harlem. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want it turning out to be like just any other neighbourhood, because there has been so much talent, so much music, so much literature and inspiration that has come out of that area of New York.
Yeah, and it's not exclusive of any color. It's exclusive to a mindset. If you come to Harlem and there's a drum circle on every Saturday morning that starts at 9:00, you can't complain that there's a drum circle at 9:00 in the park, because that's history, that's culture, that's energy. Yeah.
And I see earlier this year you signed to Blue Note Records. So how do you feel about signing for one of the major jazz labels?
Yeah, well, that was, an exciting experience, and also the energy that came along with it. It was, in a way, I was thinking, I was like, okay, so if I sign to a major label, then they're going to say, okay, now we're going to clean you up and fix you and, make you this way or that way. But it wasn't. Nobody touched me. They just gave me a call and said, do what you do. They asked me, did I have some songs? And I said, yeah. And then they said, okay, take those and then write some more and then make an album. They just wanted me to continue to be me, and I didn't have to change anything. And so that's what happened with the next record and with Liquid Spirit. And it's just a kind of a continuation of, how I'm feeling musically and the things I'm thinking about. And so hopefully it's received well, and I'm thankful for the opportunity that Blue Note has given me, and I'm very appreciative. It's been a positive experience. There's been no there's been no big label bully, kind of vibe going on at all.
No, because that is the trouble, isn't it, with some artists, and that they've moved to a bigger label, and the label has dictated to them the direction that their music should go to, and they end up losing that crowd, the essence of it all, and also the people that were buying their music right from the start, their actual fans. So
yeah, I mean, they just said, keep being Gregory Porter, and so I was like, all right, I can do that. I know who I am.
Yeah, and we want you to carry on being Gregory Porter, because, as I say, we are absolutely loving the music that's come out, and say all 3 LPs so far have been absolutely just immense, and long may it continue. We want to hear more and more.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, again, going back to the actual Liquid Spirit LP, again, where's the obviously the title Liquid Spirit? What's the meaning of that in particular?
Well, it's a play on a couple of things. The lyric is, unreroute the river, let the damned water be. There's some people down the way that's thirsty, so let the liquid spirit free. It's two things in a way. When something is liquid, that means it's accessible. And so it talks about just the release of energy, power, love, culture, music. That's the energy behind it. But there's also, we were just talking about record companies, there's also a message to the record companies: unreroute the river, let the damned water be. It's there's some music out there that's trying to get out. There's a feeling out there that people want a more soulful, a more grounded, a more connected music. And Yeah, it's a message to the record label in a way, and I said that to the record label when I was like presenting the song to them. I said, this song is about you. Unreroute the river. You know, if you have a thought about, okay, this is the demographic for this music and it shouldn't be heard by anybody else. Well, we don't know what the demographic for any music is. Put it out there and let the people come to it. You understand what I'm saying? So don't not give a record to Europe or to France or to the UK because they won't understand this record. Put the music out there and let the people enjoy it. Don't try to reroute it to the specific people that you think it'll be perfect for. You know, unreroute the river, let the damned water be. The water, I'm using the analogy of water again on this record. The water is the energy, the love, the music that the people down the way are thirsty for. Because, I mean, I just like you said, okay, we want to hear more. We want to keep hearing more. I get that inspiration for the song from you, from the people that I talk to after a concert. And they're like, man, when am I get some more of this? When am I... When do I get a new 1960 what? When do I get a new, you understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what...
Yeah, I'll agree with you there, because as I said, back in the sort of late 70s, early 80s and everything, obviously we would get the American LPs come over and they used to arrive here on a Saturday on import, and I couldn't wait to get to the import shop to hear the latest stuff that was coming across from America. And as I say, you saying that, yeah, after Be Good come out, and it was like, I can't wait for the next LP.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, and you saying about record companies there and that. I recently interviewed Boney James, and he was saying almost identical to what you were saying there. With a lot of the record companies, they need to let us, the listeners of music, decide what we want to hear, and not try and push certain things to us, because we don't want that. We want to hear new music. We want to hear lots of different types of music. And say with what you're doing, I think that is so correct what you just said there.
Yeah, unreroute the river, Yeah. Yeah, there's always somebody that thinks they can know, okay, well, the river flows naturally, but there's a better way that the river can flow. Well, if the river water travels the way that it wants to travel, and so let it go that way. And, that's probably the best way for it to go. Oh, man, appreciate it.
I'd say on the new LP, I'd say one of the tracks to me, I just melted when I heard it, was Hey Laura. I just think that is so lovely. Now, who's Laura?
You're trying to get me in trouble, man. No, it's as a songwriter, you have to have the ability to go back into your past, and not even your past, but other people's past. What the song is saying in the brief lyric that it has is, not only are you too late ringing her doorbell on some specific night, you may be too late in life. She may have gone on to somebody else, or years have passed and she's moved on. And at the time at which you're ready to ring her doorbell, it's too late. It's too late. It's not 12 o'clock at night. It's 12 o'clock at night in life. And it's too late for you to even try to ring her doorbell because she's busy. Yeah.
So
no, it's just, sometimes these feelings and thoughts and emotions well up in me, and you just got to write them down and say them, no matter how far in the past it's been.
Now, say your band. Whereabouts did you meet all the guys from your band and that? Because you got Chip Crawford on piano and Aaron James on bass. Was it Emmanuel Harold drums? And I probably won't be able to pronounce it.
Yusaka.
Yusaka on sax.
Yeah, no, you're doing a terrible job. Yosuke Sato.
Yuko Sato.
Yeah. Yeah, Yosuke Sato. And also on the record is Tavon Kunikart on tenor saxophone and Curtis Taylor on trumpet. But yeah, my traveling working band is just with one horn, Yosuke Sato. Yeah, he yeah, I mean all the guys, we all met at St. Nick's Pub in Harlem. 149th and St. Nicholas, and we played there for a couple of years before anything was happening, any energy was happening for us. And so, yeah, the club is now closed, but we try to maintain that energy that we used to cultivate there in the little club and when we play on stage. Yeah. Yeah,
because as I said, when I saw you at Love Supreme Festival and that, soon as the piano, when you came in with the piano and everybody just went absolutely ballistic, everybody mad. It was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
But Yusaka, when he was playing the sax, again, the audience was so appreciative of his part in your band.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the interesting thing is he still lives in Harlem. He's from Tokyo, but his style of play is and he'll admit it, he's studied hours and hours of the Blue Note recordings, and so the master horn players, but it's also developing your own style, and that comes from listening to singers and the energy that comes from inspiration when a singer becomes inspired. So he's a very, very well-rounded, dynamic, and emotional player. And yeah, I appreciate his playing, and the audience does too, because he squeezes all the energy out of every note that he can.
Yeah, again, you're saying about back in the late 1970s, early 80s, and that we here got a lot of the Japanese imports, and obviously people like Sadao Watanabe, Hiroshi Fukumura. We listen to a lot of their jazz, and yeah, so as soon as we hear a good jazz musician, we do appreciate it.
Yeah. He's a strong musician. We go to Japan, and we're actually going to Japan very soon, and yeah, so people like to see that I have a authentic Japanese artist in my band as well. So it's cool. I enjoy it.
Yeah. So obviously, with the release of Liquid Spirit, I suppose you are going to be doing some more touring.
I am, yes. Currently, my schedule is booked up until the middle of next year. So yeah.
Any plans of coming back here to the UK?
I do have actually very soon. I'm doing I love the title of this. I'm doing the Blues Festival at the Royal Albert Hall. I'm excited about that. I have a night there. I think that's October 30th, I believe it is.
I'm just writing that down. Yeah, I saw Mario Biondi quite recently at the Royal Albert Hall, and it is a lovely venue.
Yeah, cool. I'm excited about it, and so yeah, and anything, it's got that little royal tag on it. The Royal Albert Hall. No, it's a famous venue here too, as well. You mentioned it to people. I was like, oh yeah, because we on BBC America we get all of these great concert series that come out of the great concert halls in the UK. So yeah.
Yeah, it's normally famous over here they always have the prom nights when they play all the classical music and all the Union Jacks and everything are all up, and yeah, so but as a venue for a musician, it's got a lovely sound to it in there. It's beautiful. You'll really enjoy that.
This will be my first time, so I'm excited about it.
Yeah, great. And obviously the other thing I was going to ask you is about, you've got a very distinctive style in your clothing with your suits and your hat.
Yeah.
Where did that all come from?
It's a development in a way of my hat. I've been rocking that since I've been on the since I've been in the music scene, the national music scene, for the last 5-6 years. That's my style. That's how I present myself to the world. But my dress, I have to say I've stolen a little bit from the UK style, the London style. With we call it a vest here. You call it a waistcoat. But it's just my own style. Some of it is from vintage shops. Some of it is some of it is new. Some of it is old things that I've had. But I like to. I remember wearing something one time, like a vintage tie and just one of my old suits, and somebody took a photograph and they said and then I became on some magazine. They called me a fashion icon of jazz. But my hat style is in a way it's a statement as well. I mean, of being unique and different and being yourself. Because there was always some interesting hat in jazz. You think of Monk and Marcus Miller, Billy Cobham, John Hendricks. All of them had these interesting, unique hats that they always wore. And so this is my hat. This is Gregory Porter's hat. There you go.
No, it's good. And I suppose say it's individuality as well. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Coming over here to the UK, then just to do the Albert Hall, or are you planning to do any of the other clubs?
Yeah, I don't. At the moment, I don't have anything else booked, but there is due to be something, a proper tour coming to the UK. I've got to make that happen because the UK has been instrumental in giving me energy all throughout Europe. I think I hit in the UK, and then France got jealous and started start booking a bunch of shows. So I'm very appreciative to the UK audience, and they've given me energy because the UK audience, they love a soulful approach to whatever the genre of music. And so I get people who just are straight soul heads who will come to my jazz concerts and really appreciate it. So I love that audience and the history of the musical history that the UK has. So I'm very appreciative of it.
Yeah, I think we're lucky over here in the UK because we've always had an underground movement of people who really, really into soul or really into jazz. And at the moment, it seems to be coming back to the fore again. And as I say, we've got some great radio stations over here who knock out the soul and the jazz music now. So, it's been absolutely brilliant to have a little bit of a revival going on, and long may it continue.
Yeah, I'm very thankful for it,
Yeah. Well, I'd like to say thank you very much for your interview, Gregory, because you're taking your time up to speak to us on Sound Fusion. And the last thing I'd ask you, would there be any chance of being able to do a little drop, a little saying hi to our listeners and thank you for listening to Sound Fusion Radio?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Gregory Porter. Thank you for listening to Sound Fusion Radio. Keep swinging.
And good luck with Spirit.
I'll take some liquid gold too.
Yeah.
Thank you, baby, man. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what you want coming in. You want the gold, the ching 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 coming in.
You're damn right. No, man. I'm thankful, man. It's been great, and it's been an honor to speak with you. And I appreciate you playing the music and getting my voice out there. Thank you.
Yeah, no, say long may it continue, because say we're absolutely loving it. We can't get enough, and get this album out and get another album out as soon as possible, please.
All right, brother. All right, will do.
Thank you very much, Gregory.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye.